don't start the podcast. Or if you're doing it, just go ahead and stop right now. Instead, be a guest on a bunch of podcasts. I'm just thinking out loud. I literally just got off a mastermind call with a friend of mine, and we were just talking strategy. As content creators, we're forward thinking. As business owners, we're making sure that we don't go out of business. And so we were just sitting there and we were just talking and thinking about the concept of podcasts and the explosion of them, right? And whether or not we should jump into the game. Now, we've done plenty of podcasts or virtual interviews, if you will, especially during the 2020 timeframe, where literally I had a weekly show that was completely sponsored by a company to show up live every single week. And I interviewed different guests that made sense to be a part of that show. And since then, I haven't really been doing that type of content. I've been focused more on the UGC content that I create, or some of the stuff that you guys don't see on my channels personally, but operate on the brand's channels. And this concept of podcasting that we were talking about, we were thinking about, rather than actually starting and initiating and being the host of the podcast and all that comes with that, flip it a little bit. Because if you're a host of a podcast, you have to either do it yourself, find an assistant to reach out to potential guests to have on your show, and ideally leverage their audience or leverage who that person is so that you can reach more people. Because typically, as a host, and if you're a good host, you aren't the one doing all the talking. So if you're not doing all the talking and your guest is probably going to garner the attention of that audience and lead them to their website, their social media, or their potential podcast. Now, this is not to say that you hosting a podcast can't grow. They definitely can. There are some major players out here doing it. But if you're just getting started, if you're new to this, or if you're just struggling to actually grow your podcast, then this message is for you, because you need to figure out what's working and what's not working, and being able to make that pivot if necessary. Now, as we were talking, so what's the alternative, right? Rather than being the host of the podcast, go on a bunch of different podcasts and start to get your name out there across the board. This gives you more reach. By you showing up on 50 different podcast shows, you're going to get the reach of 50 different types of audiences without you really trying. You're going to be given questions and you're just simply going to answer those questions. And the better that you answer these questions, the better that you're going to garner this audience. And now, especially if you're in this creator space, you're creating content of some sort, but if you have a product or a service offering behind the reason that you show up on these digital platforms, that's going to get a lot more attention than you probably hosting your own podcast, because you're really not going to have a chance to promote what you're actually doing unless you do a solo podcast, of course, or if you run your own ads in your own podcast. Those are really the only two ways that your audience will know what you have to offer. So as we were talking about this concept, I was like, man, that's a really good idea, because starting from scratch, starting from zero is a difficult lift, especially if you have limited time and if you don't really want to do all of the little small things that go along with it, getting the platform, having the VA, scheduling conflicts, like email back and forth. Like, if you just want to get your voice out there, you can just be a regular guest on a bunch of different podcasts. Pretty much everybody has one. Like, I just got hit the other day about, hey, can you help me with my podcast gear that I need to create high quality content? So there are so many different ways to tap into this creator economy. If you have questions, if you want to learn more, definitely check out the link in the description. Join the community. Love to have you in there. And with that, I hope you guys take podcasting and flip it on its head. Or if you're hosting a podcast, double down, go all in, make it work. Make sure you're getting brand deals so you can get paid for your podcast. Don't just do a podcast just for the sake of doing it. I'm just thinking out loud.